My goal is to maintain my alpha status.
Tyler is the alpha of this podcast. Everybody knows Tyler's in control here. Tyler calls the shots.
I call every shot in this podcast. It's actually a ventriloquy show. Uri is not real. I'm throwing my voice. Yummy, yummy dicks.
How did you know what I was thinking? How did you do that? That's incredible.
Because I'm the alpha. I'm an X-Men whose superpower is I can tell when anyone's thinking about them yummy, yummy hogs.
That's an easy. It's easy to tell when someone's thinking about cock.
Yeah, because they're looking at me.
Because they're breathing. All right, if somebody's breathing, they're thinking about fucking.
No, not fuck, just cock.
Just cock specifically. Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be in a sexual sense.
Well, hold on. I have a theory here.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think of this. And this is going to show up as as part of my advice show on Instagram at the.uri.show. I think gay guys like dick more than straight guys like pussy. What do you think?
Maybe? I mean, they, yeah, maybe. Who knows?
I'm glad we waited for that. I'm glad we built up that much tension for you to hit us with the least helpful, least drives the conversation forward.
You said to spend more time in the pocket, and here I am, deep in the pocket.
Well, I'll put it like this: like
Let me lay it
when you
down.
want to get a nude from a girl, when a straight guy gets a nude from a lady, a nude photo, you don't want like a straight pussy shot. That's not it. That's not what's going on. You want to see the body, the ass, the tits. But on Grindr, you send a dick pic, and that's good. That's like, oh, this is good content. A hard cock on its own, disembodied, floating through the ether into my ass. They like it.
But do straight men like cock more than, or
Straight men like their own cocks very much.
do gay men like dick more than straight men like boobs?
That's a hilarious question. That's a great question. That seems to be a better comparison. Yeah. I'm gonna put that in my answer.
Because as soon as you mention like pictures, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, that's actually a good comparison. I would say gay guys like dick as much as straight guys like tits and ass. That's a very good comparison.
Totally.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is you want to introduce us? You introduce us.
Yeah, this is Uri Shatil in the Alpha. Welcome.
That would be a great name for the show. We should have called the show Uri and the Alpha. Uri and the Alpha. That would have been hilarious.
I didn't even know we were starting to record.
I'm gonna get a T-shirt that just says beta male on it. That'll be hilarious. If I was wearing a beta male, that could be our first piece of merch. No, but we are the Bantam Boys, and we are sponsored by Hustle Milk.
Hustle Milk, the only milk that'll get you going where you need.
It's a great slogan. It's a great slogan. Next recording session, we're going to drink Hustle Milk on the podcast. We're going to mix a Yoo-Hoo chocolate milk drink.
It's a chocolate drink. It's not a chocolate milk.
Well, we're going
the FDA is very clear about that. In fact, it might be a chocolatey beverage.
I think you're right. I think it's officially called chocolate beverage. But I will the official current recipe for the prototype of Hustle Milk is a Yoo-Hoo chocolate milk and a 5-hour energy. We're gonna mix those together.
Oh yeah,
and we're gonna drink that, and we're gonna see how it is.
Should we do a series? We'll do like a flight of them.
A flight of Hustle Milks.
Well, we want to get first. We want to do the baseline, which is just the Yoo-Hoos and the 5-hour energies. But we want to figure out the mixture. Is it just 1-to-1? One box?
One of the glass bottles to one shot.
Then instead of that, the flight then has to be one is that. Then the next we get a Nesquik.
Yep.
And a Red Bull. And we just try every don't knock it until you've had the flight.
For some reason, that sounds grosser than a yoo-hoo.
First rule of enjoying a hustle milk flight.
A flight of things is always
yeah, and it's great
good.
because you're drinking one Yoo-hoo, one Nesquik, and also one 5-hour energy, and then one Red Bull back to back.
Right, so you're gonna be feeling good for the rest.
You're gonna
of the
be
day.
hustling.
You're gonna hustle your way right down to the ER.
You're gonna hustle your way to the toilet.
I don't want to get on a one-track mind here, but jizz flight has definitely happened, right? Somebody's had a flight of different jizzes.
Man, I didn't go to your Thanksgiving. I don't know. I don't know what you do.
What do we serve? Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Happy Thanksgiving.
What did you cook for Thanksgiving?
Oh, dude, I did this great thing where I didn't cook anything.
But did you help out, setting the table?
I do the cleaning.
Okay, that's fine.
That's my skill.
Was there good food there?
There was good food.
Can I tell you what happened at my Thanksgiving?
I don't like the tone you use, but you go right ahead.
Well, okay.
What are you starting to unbutton your sweater?
I'm getting a little nervous if somebody in my family actually listens to this, but somebody else who is not like a relative, they're a new person, new addition to the group, who I like very, very much. If you're listening, I really like you. Big fan. I made mac and cheese.
Okay.
I make mac and cheese every year. I've gotten pretty good at it. It's a Mornay sauce. I use 4 kinds of cheese, a little garlic powder. I made a really good mac and cheese. Somebody else made like a trough of mac and cheese. It was chicken broccoli Alfredo, but it was mac and cheese.
Oh, yeah.
And it was and like I mean like a when I say it was the biggest dish. It was bigger than the bird.
Oh, yeah.
It was a huge container, and this person actually wasn't even in attendance. I like them a lot.
They just dropped off.
They just dropped it off because they had their own Thanksgiving, and my idiot brother didn't tell this person, oh, by the way, Uri makes mac and cheese. He was like, you made mac and cheese? This is like my 8th year in a row making the mac and cheese. Is this not new? We might have to cut that out. That might be our first edit. It was both unentertaining and could get me in a lot of trouble with my family.
If we did cut that bit out and we need to cut back in right before I started talking now, I would like to just sit in that knowledge that the first thing we had to cut out was a mac and cheese base.
Mac and cheese dispute.
of all the like borderline things we may spout. We had too much mac and cheese. No.
I will gladly call my brother an idiot on the air. By the way, he's actually one of the people who might listen to this. So, Don, if you're listening, I love you. And I also love, I'm still not saying what relation it was, the person who brought this other mac and cheese. I love that person as well. Big fan. I want to make that clear. Big fan. Big fan.
But
I like you.
You made too much mac and cheese.
I got really. I'll turn this on myself. I got real pissy about the mac and cheese thing. I was really.
The more you're saying this, like, oh, how dare! I'm like, this person's fine.
Yeah, this person was very generous and cooked for us, and I was really, really pissy about my little stupid dish getting upstaged by like a ziti Alfredo instead of like, because I was so hard. I just really, really want compliments on the dish.
Yeah,
that's all I ever want is compliments on the dish, and I don't get enough of them.
Well, as far as I can tell, your mac and cheese was the second best at Thanksgiving.
Oh, you have no idea how much that hurt. That hurts so much. We're the Bantam Boys, everybody.
And we're here to say.
And we profile niche sports. We look at different weird little sports every week. Sports that aren't very widely played in the United States. So, yeah, a word on this. Not all the sports we're going to cover are really niche sports. Like, we're going to talk about cricket at one point.
Sure.
Which is niche in the U.S., but it's the second most popular sport on the planet after soccer. So this week, we're talking about a global sport that's not really that popular in the U.S., polo.
Yes.
Polo on horses.
Horseback.
Yeah.
And what do you think of polo, first glances?
Before going into the research, my first impression is that polo is the ultimate sport for the upper echelons of society, for the privileged, It's basically like the sport of royalty, because even golf is a high class sport, and it's high class because you need all this land that needs to be manicured. It's just really, really expensive to maintain the facilities. Then you have these expensive clubs, and you got to take a whole day off of work. So working class people historically have not had that much access to golf. Nowadays there is some, but polo, it's like you need a horse. A horse is more, and you need to know how to ride a horse. And
that is crucial.
That is crucial.
You know what? I need to make a note of that for a future segment. Not to jump ahead, but if we're pitching new rules, I think every team should have one player that doesn't know how to ride a horse.
one dumb player. That's pretty good.
No, he's smart. He's real smart. He just doesn't know how to ride a horse.
You could throw me on there. This is so. But besides that, it looks to me basically it's like soccer on horseback.
Yeah, or more like field hockey.
More like field hockey than soccer. Oh,
yeah,
because
you're hitting it with a mallet.
Yeah, but field hockey is just soccer with a stick.
How dare you? So hockey is a very specific, different sport than soccer. They're entirely different ways of putting balls into a net.
Have you played field hockey?
I think you've been like a gym class.
You seem to be really into field hockey.
I just like hockey-based sports, and this is a hockey-based sport.
It is. It's. You could say, yeah. I could see. I could. You know what? I take it back. Comparison valid. Valid.
I was looking up when the British first came into contact with it, they called it hockey on ponies.
No, really?
Yeah.
Field hockey already existed at that point?
Yeah.
That is interesting. That is one thing I found, that they call it a polo pony, even though it is a full-size horse.
Yeah.
It's a thoroughbred horse. It's not a pony at all. And so this is also I found interesting.
Yeah.
Is that polo originated in the Persian Empire.
Yes.
And so it was played in Pakistan and India. And when the British colonized Pakistan and India, they brought polo back to England.
Oh, yeah.
That surprised me.
Yeah, well, it makes sense when you think of sort of I don't know if I want to say steeps, but just, it was a cavalry sport. It was a sport played by members of the cavalry of ancient armies, because you're riding horses and you need to be able to train, and that has that motion of attacking someone on horseback.
When you say steeps, do you mean steps? The steppes of Asia?
I prefer to call them steeps.
Well, I just want to know what
it is the same thing. The long, flat plains.
You are talking about the steppes of Asia.
Yeah, the steeps of Asia.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. But I mean, the Mongolians didn't play polo. They just played polo with victims. They just had enough victims. At all times.
They had more practice.
The Mongolians were well practiced.
Yeah. But yeah, no, because it's very much something of the cavalry to do. Also, at a certain point going back, horses weren't necessarily a rich people thing. That was just people who needed to get around a farm.
Yes, that's actually the other thing is there are people who, I was going to say earlier, if you know how to ride a horse as a child, if you're in the suburbs of a major city and you know how to ride a horse as a kid, you're probably very wealthy. If you grew up on a farm and you know how to ride a horse, then that's probably not an indicator of class. That's just the family business of agriculture. Although I don't know if modern farmers really ride horses that much, but I think there's some of that.
Yeah. They're better for rough terrain and going up and down than Jeeps.
Oh, is that a fact?
Yeah.
Dude, it would be so cool to ride a horse. Have you ever ridden a horse?
I have ridden a horse.
How was it?
It was fine. I don't know what you want. You sit on a giant thing, and it's not happy you're up there.
Well, it's not happy you're up there.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, you gotta get on the horse, and it's your then high school girlfriend's horse, and it's the horse is just like, this isn't gonna go well for you, man.
What part of the world was this?
This was Memphis.
Memphis, Tennessee. You dated a horse girl?
I did.
Was this the farming version or the rich version?
This might have been more of the rich version.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm not surprised. Well, that's interesting. We're talking about polo, and you dated a horse girl. We need to get into this.
Well, then she didn't do polo. It's separate things when you're leaping over the little the poles.
Did you do equestrian sports?
Yeah, she did the horse riding around in a circle. But that's, I don't know, it feels different. It's like saying, oh, did you run track? Well, that's basically soccer.
Well, no.
No.
It's more like saying
No, what? What do you mean no? That's exactly what this is.
No, it's more like saying, oh, you did the javelin? My other friend ran the 100-meter dash. That's a related sport. Those are track and field events. Polo and whatever that is, dressage or whatever, they're both equestrian
it's called
sports.
Jumping.
Jumping?
Yeah.
Horse jumping?
Jumping.
Is that different than dressage?
Yes.
See,
Dressage is the flat land where the horse, you kind of like dance.
you kind of it's horse grinding.
It is.
what
Yeah.
is.
Oh, yeah. That's how Mitt Romney's horse made the Olympics.
Mitt Romney's horse was in the Olympics.
Well, a horse he had money in. I don't know if he didn't ride it. It was just a horse he owned.
That's interesting because I would figure that Mormons are anti-gambling. So owning part of a horse to me is like I would expect that from like a Boston politician.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. This is a dressage horse. People were not gambling on dressage.
That'd be hilarious. That'd be hilarious.
Are people going out and gambling on this? No, it's a horse dancing.
Dude, wouldn't it be hilarious if you went to the horse track and with all the dirt bags just betting on races, wearing weird hats, and then in the middle they did just dressage
A dressage round.
A little guy came out and started dancing in front of all these drunk degenerates.
I like the way you phrase it, where it was just a little guy. Not that he's on a horse, but just one guy shows up and he starts dancing, and everyone's putting money down and like chanting at him, like "Go, go."
Here's a sport: human dressage. How about that?
Yeah, it's called gymnastics.
Yes, it is. You're right. I'm gonna rebrand it. Let's rebrand.
I don't think you should rebrand any sport to just be like, yeah, this is human horse running.
yeah. We rebrand the 100-meter dash as a human horse race, a biped horse race,
A bipedal horse race.
But my point is,
Yeah,
there is a class of sports called equestrian sports.
Yeah.
That includes dressage, jumping, polo, and I think horse racing, but horse racing is sort of in its own category because it's less about the athlete and more about the horse.
you just gave me this whole hullabaloo about how no, they're part of the same category. Horse racing though, that's
Jumping and polo 100% are in the same. They wear the same stupid helmet.
I think they also wear that helmet when they're racing.
No, they wear a jockey helmet.
Describe the differences between the helmets.
No face mask.
No
I actually think when they're jumping, they don't wear a face mask either.
Yeah.
So it is a different
In fact,
helmet.
they wear just very tiny helmets, if any.
Did you watch any polo?
Did I watch any? I've never watched any polo.
Not even what?
Oh, like online? Yeah. I was watching
what
some
we were-
online.
Yeah,
I thought you meant just to like hang out at the polo grounds.
So interestingly enough, I talked to my wife, who will remain unnamed, and she has been to a polo match.
Ah.
She went to a polo match. A friend of hers, and this is hilarious. You think we're talking about horse girls and stuff and privilege? A friend of hers did polo and fencing,
Ooh.
which is both the most privileged pair of sports and also the most outdated warfare training sports you can imagine.
I think we could still use some good fencing.
In
I think that's
combat.
That's what we need. We have all this money going into like, fancy space weapons, but what we need is a really long fencing sword, just so we can be in America and just kind of dangle it over the ocean.
I want to meet a guy who's done fencing, polo for the cavalry, rifle shooting, and mixed martial arts for the hand-to-hand combat. All of them. That would be a dangerous person.
It sounds like an anime character.
This is, Goku.
Goku.
Goku did all that stuff.
He was famous for his horseback riding.
That's the only anime character I know.
It's the only you need to learn more anime characters.
Who's Avatar?
Who's Avatar?
Yeah, the kid with the arrow on his head. What's his name?
Aang.
Aang.
Avatar is not an anime.
Huh?
Avatar is not an anime.
You know, Avatar: The Last Airbender is not an anime?
It is not an anime.
It's not?
No. It's American.
Does that makes it not an anime? What?
Yeah.
But all the characters are Asian.
There are Asian people in America. It also doesn't take place in America, but it's an American-made show.
That can't be an anime?
Yeah, anime, I'm pretty sure it has to be from Japan.
I'm going to disagree.
SpongeBob an anime?
No, that's a cartoon. But the Boondocks is an anime. It's like an action cartoon.
Yeah, but just because it's an action cartoon that's not what an anime is. There's anime that aren't action-based.
That sounds like it sucks.
It's real good.
My older brother, aforementioned, who I was shitting on earlier, when we were kids, he watched an anime based on the board game Go.
Ooh.
You know Go?
No, I know Go.
We'll cover Go on this show. We'll do a Go show.
Yeah.
But it was it was like, it's like an anime, but the big climactic like battles are Go games. So there'd be like all this crazy music, whoosh, bum 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 bum, and the guy just put a cube down on a board,
a little pebble.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was very silly.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of anime about like board games.
There's plenty of those.
Oh yeah,
like Jumanji,
Pokemon.
That's not a board game.
Yeah, it is. The trading card game. Yu-Gi-Oh, where they actually just play Yu-Gi-Oh in the game.
That's true. Those aren't board games. Those are card games. But there are plenty of anime about card games. You're right.
Card games are board games. All the cards are little boards.
You know what? I concede. I don't know why I'm being a dick right now. I don't.
There's definitely been a time you're like, oh, you want to come to my apartment and play board games? Then you brought out Dominion, and you never.
Those are cards. You're correct. You're correct. All right, let's get back to Polo.
Yeah, let's get back to Polo.
Let's do a segment. How about a segment?
Let's do a segment.
How about player profiles? Did you profile a player in Polo?
I did. I profiled Joseph Ford Scherer, Lieutenant Joseph Ford Scherer.
All right, sick. Let's learn about.
Yeah, he was the British father of polo.
Okay, what year?
1859.
That's early.
Yes, very early. He was in India. For very cool and good reasons, I'm sure, as a British lieutenant.
Did you know what branch of the was he like a cavalry guy?
It was cavalry.
He was cavalry. Bring in the cavalry,
of course. Well, and he was in. Did I write down the? My handwriting is very bad,
but I appreciate you taking notes.
Oh, I gave it a shot.
Yeah. For those just listening, Tyler has a piece of notes on a piece of printer paper cut in half, it looks like.
It's drawing paper.
It's drawing paper that he shoddily cut out with scissors. But
shoddily cut out? This is a perfect rectangle.
Huh? No, come on now. I can see how uneven this is. Look, compare it to mine. Yeah. Oh, look, I can see the All right, so he actually I do stand corrected. He actually ripped it along a perforation.
And you're looking at the wrong side.
Oh, that's coming later.
It was a Silchar Kengjai, which was the first club.
Say that again.
Silchar Kengjai?
That's an area of India,
I believe.
A region of India.
That was the name of the club. It was the first polo club in the world.
Good attempt on the pronunciation, by the way.
I gave it a shot.
Thank you for trying. You did it not racistly. I appreciate that.
Why did you think I would?
Well, you can go way off the rails trying to pronounce things right, and you end up in the doghouse. Dogs, by the way, can't play polo.
Not with that attitude.
There's no airbud rule for polo.
All right,
when
so
you come in riding a dog.
I was gonna say, when you're talking about dogs playing polo, are you talking about you riding a dog, or the dog is on the horse?
I was talking about a dog riding a horse. Actually, that's sick.
I think that would be awesome, having dogs on the horses.
Maybe that'll be our variant of the game. We could take it down to the Wonderland dog track. In Revere, Massachusetts.
Very, very specific reference.
Very, very classy place, the Wonderland Dog Track.
Yeah, but he kind of found people playing the sport, and he's like, this is cool. And then he got a bunch of British tea plantation owners who he's like, hey, I bet we could steal 1,800 years of culture and just make this sport ours. And so they founded the first polo club.
This is interesting because there was some cultural exchange here where the British got into polo, and they're not even close to the best at it now.
No.
But they also but India and Pakistan got wicked into cricket, and now they're the best at cricket. That I find very interesting. There was a bit of an exchange there. Because listen, when it comes to stealing culture, if I may,
may you?
I'm for it. No, I'm kidding. But there's some things that are clearly wrong. Taking all the artifacts from Egypt and showing them at the Royal Museum of London, bad. We can all agree. But when it comes to just sharing each other's sports and games and food, that seems pretty chill.
Yeah, I'm down with sharing cultures and everything.
Yeah.
I was just reading the article. They're like, this is the first polo club ever created. I'm like, oh yeah. They waited. It was 1,800 years of people playing polo, and then a British guy was the first one to be like, what if we made this a club?
Yeah, they just started it in the way they do things, which is a club. But I mean, that is kind of polo club is sort of an Anglo-Indian kind of fusion thing. Yeah. That's neat. That's neat. So was he good at polo?
He was okay. I think at that point he was the best British person at polo.
That makes sense.
Since he was the first British person to play polo.
Yeah. Well, that's neat. What's his name one more time?
That is Lieutenant Joseph Ford Scherer.
Nice. All right, I got a player profile. I actually got two.
Okay.
So the first guy, so in polo there's a handicapping system. If you're a novice, your handicap is -2. And the best players in the world, the maximum handicap is 10. A 10-goal handicap, they call it. Not all the pros are 10-goal handicaps. There's like a dozen or so people in the world active who are 10-goal handicaps.
Right.
So there was the first guy I looked at was this guy named Ignacio Nacho Figueras. I can't read my own handwriting either. But I looked into this guy. They called him the David Beckham of polo, and saying, oh, he's the most famous polo player in the world. He's a 6-goal handicap. He's not even like that good for a pro. Yeah, he's Argentinian. He's the David Beckham of polo. You know what makes him the most famous?
He dated one of the Spice Girls.
Close. He's really hot.
Oh.
He's very, very handsome, and so he's a model and a celebrity, even though he was okay at polo. He was from Argentina, which is the best country at polo.
He kind of has
a mile.
He has a Kornikova effect going on.
Anna Kornikova, yeah, she was like not that good, but she was hotter than the other tennis players.
She was still good.
I'm thinking of Maria Sharapova, who was no, they were both good, but they weren't like Williams sisters level good. They were just
Sharapova was. Kornikova was very good. Won some doubles championships, but just never.
Did she win a major?
She never won she won a doubles major,
but not a singles.
Not a singles major. She made some finals. It was just that her popularity outpaced her talent.
Sure.
Which is not that she wasn't good at tennis. It was just that she was more famous in general.
There's plenty of athletes like that. I did find it kind of novel. I don't see a lot of male
like
athletes
John Daly.
John Daly?
You know John Daly?
No, I don't.
Oh, he's the best. He's a good to great golfer, and you know how an Arnold Palmer is half iced tea and half lemonade?
Sure.
So a John Daly is vodka.
Just vodka.
Yes.
So he's a fun guy.
Oh, he is a hilarious man.
Oh, okay, that's fun.
It's just watching a guy having a great time.
Yeah. I mean, there's certainly some athletes who just with like personality or whatever, get bigger. That happens, I think, in the mainstream sports as well.
I mean, Charles Barkley never won an NBA championship.
Yeah, but he was filthy.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was great, but didn't have that ring.
Yeah, he didn't get a ring. I mean, there's a few players that and we'll get into this in the next episode. I got a player who was really, really good but never won a championship.
Ooh, okay.
But that's a little tease. That's a tease. But the player I really wanted to profile was Hope Arellano. And I believe that I'm pronouncing that right because she's American. Hope Arellano is the only active woman who's a 10-goal handicap.
Okay.
I think the youngest player to get to a 10-goal handicap. She's 20 years old.
Right.
Started playing polo at 11 and comes from a whole polo family. So good things coming for American polo, and big shout out to Hope Arellano. And she is famous because of her polo playing specifically. She's not as
Yeah,
hot as
yeah.
the other guy. The guy's hotter.
All right. I believe you.
Yeah, I want it to be made clear. I'm fair and balanced when it comes to because we as we established, gay guys love dick more than straight guys love pussy. Gay guys love dick like straight guys love tits and ass.
But more than anything, they both love polo handicap scores, which is why we're all about hope. I'm
hope.
not. Don't even shoot me a text message if you're not at least a 9 handicap in polo. I'm single, but I'm waiting for someone who's really good at polo.
That's on Tyler's Hinge profile.
Sometimes I just hang out at the polo fields, and I'm just trying to pick up the polo players. I'm out there wearing a saddle.
You letting them ride you around?
I'm letting them ride me around.
Tyler's Hinge profile says, "What do you call girls with a polo handicap of less than 9 goals?" Friends. That's what you call them.
I thought you were going to say, what do you call someone with less than 9 handicap in polo? You don't call them.
You don't call them. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Is that also that's also a meme on dating apps?
It might be.
What do you call guys who are less than 6 feet? Friends. That's out there. I'm less than 6. Are you less than 6? You're 5'11"?
Oh, dude, I'm like 7 foot.
I'm talking about height.
Oh, yes, I am 5'11".
Nice, dude.
Though I got annoyed. I went to a doctor's office and either I shrunk a little or the doctor, because I had she's like, oh yeah, you're like 5'10". I'm like, did I lose an inch of height? And I look down and the measuring tape is like curling up at the bottom. Like it's not fully stretched.
You do also fluctuate throughout the day. And if you're borderline, like I'm 5'6", borderline 5'7". Some doctors have measured me at 5'7". Some doctors have measured me at 5'6". I say 5'6" because I don't care, and I'm good looking anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But some people get real sensitive about it. Some people insist on that extra inch.
I mean, I've often insisted on an extra inch.
Yeah. I don't need an extra inch, baby. I got plenty enough as is.
Yeah, I just wish it wasn't so blue.
I'm the beta male of this group, by the way. I do want that known.
We didn't include that first part where I asserted dominance.
We did. Oh god, I'm scratching my balls on camera. This is bad. I forgot we were on camera for a second, but I had to do it.
You had to do it.
Yeah, if you're just listening, you got to check.
If you're watching, you're welcome.
All right, let's do another segment. Actually, I did want to.
We call that pocket polo.
Pocket polo. Pocket polo's hilarious.
You're trying to get the balls where they need to be, man. I like to think I'm always riding my horse.
Yeah, I'm always astride a steed.
A steed.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to point out too that I thought was so polo's played 4 versus 4, right?
I'm picturing a series of prophylactics that do include a little saddle on the top.
A condom with a saddle?
Yeah.
So someone can sit on top of it?
Yeah.
I think the real thing would be to put a saddle around your dick and balls, so when the person sits on it, it's like they're sitting in a saddle. That would be interesting.
I'm picturing putting like a little cowboy action figure.
Action figure play is interesting.
Is it?
Yes, it's a genre.
A genre of what?
Mostly a
of
genre.
Things that got you kicked out of Toys R Us. Welcome to this week's episode where we go through Uri's top 5 reasons he got kicked out of Toys R Us.
Uri's top 5 sex crimes.
Oh, God.
Number 1, jizzing on the action figures at Toys R Us. Okay.
Yeah. You want to keep going down this bit, Uri?
Yes.
That would. I thought this would be goofy and gross, and this is just hardcore gross.
Number 2, letting a guy blow me for $200. That's illegal. That's illegal if you don't film it. Number 3.
And you kept telling the cops, but there's security cameras here at the Toys R Us.
Those are actually my only 2. Those are my only 2 illegal sexual acts. And aside from the Toys R Us one, I think they're okay.
It's not up to you to think they're okay.
Yeah, it's by the way, this is a comedy satirical podcast, and I didn't do either of those things. And
That's right. This is a comedy podcast. Boink. That's me winking at the camera.
there is a rule about that. Like,
yeah, no, there's a lot of rules about not
no, this
masturbating at Toys R Us. I think most laws are that.
That's against the rules. Don't do that, everybody. Stay home. But
Stay home.
if you're gonna whack off, stay home and do it.
And don't choose a defunct business.
yeah, I whacked off at KB Toys.
Oh God.
I thought this store hasn't been open in 15 years. I thought it would be fine.
You know how there's the toy store Build-A-Bear Workshop. At my job once, they were doing a charity like a carnival, and they had an off-brand version of that, and it was just called Fill-A-Bear Workshop.
Fill-A-Bear, yeah.
And it made me it felt a little bit like there's some people you need to have a pass through on all of your names of businesses.
Well, especially because the whole workshop, Tyler's a hairy guy. They just brought him out.
Yeah.
And said, "All right, everybody, it's time to fill the bear." And then you sort of blacked out, right?
Yeah, well, I had whited out. All I could see was white.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know what? For an episode ostensibly about polo, we've talked a lot about jizz. And remarkably, we haven't mentioned horsecock once.
I wrote down in my notes not to. And I'm frankly furious that you're making me break my one goal.
That's actually my variation. This is our next segment, variations.
Okay, yeah.
So my variation of polo, it's polo, but before you ride the horse, you put the horse on its back, and then you play polo like that.
What do you mean?
Well, you put the horse on its back, you mount it, and then you start riding.
And then you
around.
start trying to push it like you're a snowplow.
Yeah, it's a really slow game.
Yeah, of course.
No, my actual variation, I call it water polo.
Yeah.
And everybody's riding a seahorse.
A seahorse?
Yeah.
Only one seahorse?
One seahorse per person. That was cute, right?
It was
that was
cute.
Cuter.
Why did you? That was cute, right? Did I do good?
Because the horse cock thing was really vulgar. And so
Oh, was it? It wasn't vulgar before. When you're like, the first reason I got kicked out of Toys R Us, I was irrigating. I was irrigating the action figures.
Oh my God, that's irrigating. Oh, that is.
It's a good word.
It's a great word.
It's a great word. Do not use it.
No. Oh my Lord.
I'm about to irrigate.
Oh God, that's disgusting. Okay, what's your variation?
My variation? So I kind of jumped the gun earlier with my idea of each team, it's 4-on-4, but one of the players doesn't know how to ride a horse.
Okay, so what happens?
We just see how it goes.
So that person, they get bucked off the horse after 2 seconds probably, yeah. And then do you wait for them to get back on top?
No, they have to get on in live gameplay. Okay. So part of the fun is watching them try to chase down a horse.
It's basically 3-on-3 polo.
3-on-3 polo with two people having a bad time.
Two are just chasing a horse around.
Well, then it's like Quidditch. Whoever can get on the horse first gets 10 extra points. It's like catching the snitch.
Oh, how about this for a variation?
Yeah.
It's 3-on-3 polo, but then you have a fourth teammate on a horse, but they're doing dressage at the same time. So it's sort of like the biathlon where there's a racing element and then a rifle shooting element. It's like two completely unrelated things that can't be scored similarly, but your score, like if I beat you by 1 point in the polo part,
yeah,
but then you got a better score in dressage, then we tie. So you have to beat them in polo and dressage at the same time.
What if it was 4-on-4 polo, but while everyone's playing, you can also have a player step off to the side and go into research and development and slowly build a tank. and then come back in the tank, so you've outdated horse warfare.
Dude.
Or pike squares. We get a lot of people.
What's a pike square?
Oh, it's a line of soldiers in a square with pikes.
Oh, that makes sense.
It was a good defense against horses.
Oh.
All you really need is a long stick.
Yeah. I mean, there was a famous Braveheart scene where they impaled a bunch of horses.
Yeah, and that's how you do it. You get set up in your phalanx.
Yeah,
if you're old school, or just a pike and shot formation where you have the people with the guns, then the people with the swords.
Now, I'm sure this has been done. Jeep polo.
Jeep polo?
That would
absolutely.
be crazy.
There's already motorcycle and bicycle polo. I saw both of them.
There is?
Yeah.
Motorcycle polo is sick, dude. I might do motorcycle polo.
You're going to do it?
It's dirt bike polo.
I assume it's dirt. It might be just dudes in gigantic Harleys.
Dudes on 2,000
They have the
Harleys.
giant
They're
choppers,
choppers.
the chopper bars. Whoa!
So one of the interesting things, the only rule that's really
polo, but it's on those mono wheel skateboard things.
the electric unicycle.
Yeah.
I mean now you're straddling the line between field hockey and polo.
Oh.
But
am I straddling it now?
There is one. Well, you got to turn the horse upside down first. There is one rule that is interesting, and I couldn't quite figure it out. But basically, the rules are designed to protect the players and the horses and to avoid collisions. So the ball of travel, the path of travel of the ball,
Yes.
right? If it's going in a direction, they call that the line of the ball, I think, right?
Yes.
And
Line
you're-
of ball.
And you're not allowed to cross that line with your horse, basically. So wherever the ball is going, if you're on the right or left side, you have to stay on that side until the ball changes direction.
Yeah.
And then you're still not allowed. So that's a big part of the tactics of it,
Yeah.
which I found interesting.
Oh, yeah. You have to attack it from certain angles and just be on the right side. It's good stuff.
It is interesting, and it's played on a huge field. And my wife actually said that when she went to the game, between quarters, all the spectators went out into the field and stomped the divots back into the ground.
I think that's something that we should have in every sport. I think instead of a Zamboni, we should have the entire
Just the fans.
the fans.
Just the drunken fans at Madison Square Garden come out
Slipping
puking
and
on the ice.
Puking on the ice so that it freezes over in a perfectly
Oh my
sheen.
god. Puke hockey? That's bad. That's bad, and it's definitely been done.
Did you read at all about arena?
Yes, there's also arena polo, which is hilarious.
You see, which does seem like the thing I would come up with as a bit, because it was
Yeah.
like, all right, so regular polo is what, 10 acres was the field, something
It's
like that.
600 by like one. It's basically it's 6 soccer fields. Basically.
6 soccer fields, yeah. So it's a ginormous field, and then they're like, what if we did 300 feet by 150 feet
indoors,
arena football style?
dude. Every sport should have an arena variant for sure.
I got bad news for you, Ori. Most sports are the arena variant.
No, but
Most of them are in the arena.
That's fair. But like, there's a sport called futsal, which is basically arena soccer.
Oh yeah,
That's a fun sport.
yeah, just teeny tiny soccer.
Yeah, it's like in a gym, and you can like use the wall and stuff. It's cool. There's arena football, which is hilarious.
I think we should make a version of polo where, you know, that there's those monkeys, they train how to ride dogs like horses.
Yeah, no, I've never heard of this. It sounds amazing.
You've never heard of this?
No,
Yeah,
this
monkey
sounds
riding
great.
a dog. We just get that going, and we teach the monkeys how to play polo. It's the first step before teaching the monkeys classism, which is our ultimate goal of this
So
sport.
you've got monkeys riding dogs
Yeah.
playing polo. So there's no humans involved.
No. Well, I mean, the humans got to they don't naturally do this.
The humans got to
You
train.
do have to intervene a little bit.
You know, this
It would
is
be strange if we wandered into a clearing and saw all these monkeys and dogs riding around.
well, monkeys and dogs are natural foes.
Are they?
Yeah.
Not in the movie Most Valuable Primate.
Is that like an Air Bud type movie?
Yeah, it's where the monkey plays hockey. It's a real movie.
That sounds pretty funny.
Yeah.
Do they get like one of those movie chimps to do silly takes to the camera and stuff?
No, they got a real blue collar chimp. They got the Harrison Ford of chimps. They pulled him off of a carpenting job.
No Hollywood.
No Hollywood experience. They wanted a real gritty chimp.
Yeah. Legend has is that he was writing it. The chimp was writing the screenplay, sleeping in his car the whole time. Let's do one more segment. We did
more
player
segment.
profile. We did
Players.
variants. What would be your strategy if you were going to play polo?
My strategy is try to spook the other team's horses.
That's good.
So they freak out.
So you have a scarecrow on
I have
your
a scarecrow.
horse?
I'm constantly blowing a vuvuzela.
Okay.
Just loud noises.
Trying to scare the other horses away.
Yeah. But the trick is you got to do it without scaring your own horse. So for months ahead of time, I've been preparing them to deal with my trolling.
That's good. That's fun. And what happens when the horse runs out of the field completely? Then you just waltz right in.
You waltz right in.
You dressage right in.
I dressage. Yeah, I'm high stepping. I'm gonna be the Chad Ochocinco of the polo world. People are gonna hate me for my showboating, but they can't deny how good I am.
Can't deny the talent.
I'm gonna have a 12 handicap. They're gonna make me score 15 goals before any of my goals count.
Did you figure out what the handicapping system means?
I assumed it is that you have to score that many goals and then keep scoring to start counting.
But they say that the best player in your team is actually like the midfielder. The 3 position is supposed to be the best player in the team, and then but positions 1 and 2 do all the scoring.
It might be that they were so good at scoring that they have such a high handicap. You keep them at the midfield so that they are then facilitating. So they're not working down their own handicap. They're passing it to players who have low handicap, and they score.
Maybe it's got to do with the total handicap of your team. So if your total team's handicap is a 30 and you're playing against a team who's like a 28, then you have to beat them by 2 goals for it to count.
What if it's they make your mallet really short? So your mallet is like 10 lengths long. They have some arcane measurement that's 10.
They have a lot of weird words. A quarter is called a chucker.
I don't think you're allowed to say that anymore.
Chucker? You're a chucker.
That does sound like something in like a drama about a lumberjacking community. You're not allowed to date him. He's just a chucker. He just chucks wood in a truck, and that's all he does. But Dad, I love him.
How you dare call me a chucker? How you dare come from town down us and then come on our wood chopping lifestyle?
I've been playing polo for 40 years.
My family's been playing polo since this was just a territory.
This is also our rendition of the movie Fences.
Oh, God.
That movie does not take place in the South. I retract that bit.
Yeah, it's in New York City, isn't
Philadelphia.
it? Philadelphia?
It's part of the Philadelphia cycle.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
I could be wrong. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what most movies or plays are.
He's so nervous right now.
I'm very nervous.
You're like a cat on a hot tin roof. That's another play, I think, by the same guy.
No, that's Tennessee Williams.
Tennessee Williams.
Yeah.
And whose Fences?
Oh, that I'm pretty sure is Martin Short.
it's the play is by Denzel Washington.
It's not by Denzel Washington.
That's the joke. He was in the
okay.
movie. I didn't just pull out a random black guy.
I did want to make sure I was thinking of the right movie.
Yeah. That's the movie.
Where he doesn't let his son play sports.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I got my strategy for polo.
Yeah.
My strategy for polo would be that I instead of getting a polo horse, I get a dressage horse.
Yeah.
And yes, my whole strategy would be distraction based. So while the other people are like going fast and hitting the thing with the mallet, I would just be dressaging around. And they look at me, they're like, what the hell is going on there? And then boom, I come in and I got the finesse. I'll be a finesse player.
New strategy just dropped. You get a horse that's real sexy. So the other horses are all distracted by your Bugs Bunny style sexy horse.
A mare. I would have a mare. Yeah.
And
I mean, it's implied that if I'm riding a horse, that horse is going to be fucking hot. What are they going to ride? Some ugly, like, 6 horse? No.
6 out of 10 horse?
No, man. My horse is going to be good looking.
I want a real homely horse because that's a horse that'll work harder.
Yeah, it's a horse that appreciates you riding it. Instead of a really hot horse who knows that they can just drop you at any second and pick up someone just as good.
You ever walk up to a horse and it just looks at you and goes, no. No.
The key is to try riding a bunch of different horses, because if you just
That's
keep trying, eventually one of them is going to let you on top.
That's why everyone at all those like horse events dresses so prim and proper. It's because they're trying to look good for the horse.
They're trying to fuck a horse.
Some guys tried to show up with just a t-shirt and jeans. The horse said, no.
See, my move is when I go to make love to a horse, is I put my hand in there all the way up to the elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then what are you doing? Is it just going in and you're just sitting there?
No, I believe that's what like a horse vet does. I don't know if that's an anus or a vagina.
That's usually for pregnancy testing.
You put your
you go in and then you hold down and you just feel for it.
You go shoulder deep.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's not anal. I always thought that was.
You can, but I don't think they'll appreciate it.
Oh my god!
I'm glad you didn't try this out before getting some secondary information. I know you were walking around Central Park without those rubber gloves.
What about this for a polo strategy? I just get off the horse and then I just go kick the ball around like you fucking idiots.
You see, the problem with that is I think you will then be trampled by a horse.
It's likely. It's likely.
I'm putting my horse front legs roller skates, so he doesn't have to lift up his front feet.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah,
that's a good strategy. Chariot. I would be playing chariot polo.
Chariot polo. Yeah.
Yeah. They still do chariot racing.
Of course.
It's not called that. It's called like kart racing or something. But they'll do it at horse tracks.
Oh yeah. And I mean, we'll talk about it in the future, but what I'm thinking for that is Mario Kart style.
Throwing bananas around.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not a bad strategy for polo, too.
Yeah. Throw some bananas, have a horse slip.
What if my strategy is I ride a donkey, so I'm closer to the ground?
Closer to the ground? Ooh, that could be good. A mule.
Yeah, I could mule it up.
Mule it up. You get the mule going. I'm riding a giraffe. That way I can get a bird's eye view.
You see the whole thing. I was thinking of maybe riding a lion or something sick like that.
I'm going Hannibal style. I'm riding elephants.
Yeah. You've got a 30-foot mallet that you're.
Well, yeah, but it's still the same like thickness.
The head is the same.
It's all the same, but it's just very long. It's like a deep hole in lacrosse.
A deep pole. They got longer poles.
Yeah, 10 feet, 6 feet.
But that's not helpful on offense. You want a shorter pole for offense.
Yeah, shorter pole because then you have more control. The longer pole so you can smack people from further away, and that is the truth. It's excellent.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're gonna call it there. Thank you all so much for watching. We're the Bantam Boys. Follow us Instagram at Bantam Boys Cast. Like, subscribe at the.uri.show.
I'm at Tyler_Durniak_comedy.
And if you're listening, leave us 5 stars on iTunes. Please. It's very helpful.
And if you're watching, like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody.